everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're looking at the epic MCU movie of all time, Avengers Endgame.
As the final movie in the Infinity Saga, the remaining Avengers time travel to various points in the MCU to get the Infinity Stones before Thanos does and restore the other half of the universe and their friends.
Yes. And we waited a long time to do this one because one, it took us a while to see it, and two, we want to be absolutely sure that we don't give any spoilers and there are people who haven't seen it. So it's been quite a while since it's released, so hopefully most of fans have seen the movie by now.
And we kept saying we were going to rent it on demand and we were going to rent it at Redbox because we wanted to make sure before we bought it. So we went to have dinner at our cousin Mark and he and his wife and family's house. And as we were sitting and enjoying dinner, all of a sudden he leaves and we're like, where is he? And his wife says, he just put in this movie he's seen 3 times. And he said Endgame. And Rascal and I nearly ran each other over, returning from the table to go see it. And we got to see actually half of the movie at his home. Mm-hmm. And then we went ahead and rented it to see the other half. Mm-hmm. And it's worthy of purchase.
Yes, absolutely. It has everything you would want in an MCU movie and gives a almost satisfying conclusion to this chapter of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Definitely. It was nothing like we expected. You've seen all these trailers and information people were leaking and spoilers of we already knew people who were going to be killed off. But although all of that had been revealed and we'd seen it, it still was a fantastic movie and we couldn't have guessed at anything that happened except the 2 spoilers of people who were leaving. Right. It was just fantastic.
In a store.
Absolutely fantastic. I know my favorite scene in the movie because the first time we saw it, I literally jumped out of my seat. And then I asked it to be rewound. And then I played it again and again because it was one of the best scenes in the movie. So, yes. Let's start.
And this one has been highly anticipated ever since the first Avengers movie came out. We've been looking forward to seeing, what would come up with this new villain that would come up in Infinity War. And now it's going to be the conclusion with Endgame, which pretty much is Infinity War Part 2, but they didn't say Part 2. And everyone was just in a rush to see it. They already had pre-ordered tickets. They were already talking about all the theories, and everyone was going bonkers. Days before it came out, or to see the advanced screens, and it did come out. There were spoilers galore, minus Twitter. And they had filmed this back-to-back Infinity War. So as soon as they finished Infinity War, they did Endgame. And they had done the filming for months at a time. Getting all these stars together and all these people. And it's just this grand parade of visual effects and action and epicness on this incredibly large scale that pretty much serves as like when you would see in a series finale for a show and all the people the hero has met comes together for one final battle in the final episode of the series. That's kind of like what happened with Endgame.
Yes, definitely. The graphics were astounding. Of course, the special effects were breathtaking and convincing. And this was the first movie that we saw out of this universe where when we saw the digital effects, they did not look like digital effects. Sometimes sometimes you can tell, not all the way through, of course, with just some scenes. But this one, every single thing that was on that screen looked like it really, really happened. So they've really upped the stakes in the special effects.
Right. Yeah. And considering that it broke so many box office records and is now the highest grossing film of all time, beating out 2009's Avatar by was it James Cameron?
Yes.
So, yeah, you could tell that so many people are already anticipating this movie from the time Infinity War was announced to Endgame's announcement. People have been really anxious to see this.
Right. So this took $356 million to produce the budget. And as of the date we are recording this, it has grossed, in the box office, it grossed $796 billion, and I think they're supposed to have a re-release at some point.
Yeah, so, but at the theaters, I don't know if they already did or not because we haven't really looked it up.
Right.
But as far as the movie having, without revealing so much, there were lots of great lots of there are lots of great moments. Like all the stars from the other movies are in here coming together at once, where they do the time travel, or they had the final battle. Of course, you have the remaining Avengers. It took them about 2 years to actually get started to have the idea to go back in time and get the stones. Was actually revealed by Ant-Man, who survived the snap because he was stuck in the quantum realm. He got out pretty much by accident, and when he came out, he told him about this theory he have. I can just use the quantum stuff to go back in time, get the stones before Thanos does, and then snap everybody back into existence. That way he would never get the Infinity Gauntlet. But the thing
it's
was,
actually 5 years later.
5 years later.
Because Scott Lang escapes out of the quantum realm.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah. Sorry. And the thing was, we didn't really understand this. It works sometimes, but other times it didn't. For Ant-Man, maybe because he's not an initiated Avenger, he was kind of the punching bag for the movie. And I mean, he got hurt a lot or anything, but he was sort of the source of a lot of the jokes and the slapstick, and they really didn't seem to like him that much. Like, you're not Tony Stark, you're not that smart. That's pretty much what the characters were saying. Then when Tony said, oh, you can do that, oh yeah, we believe it now. We were kind of stunned that they went that route. Right. I guess because he's new, so maybe that's why, but we were kind of like, why are you treating him like crap all of a sudden?
The Avengers are like their little clique, and they're like the kids at high school, where they've got their clique, and they're the popular kids, and this was some new kid that was trying to come in their clique, and they really probably didn't want them, but they knew they had to accept them because they were kind of forced to, because they wanted to
like after this we don't want to see you anymore. Right, wow, so much for the Earth's mightiest heroes. And another thing you mentioned with the Hulk or Banner, now he's Professor Hulk. Now he's Hulk all the time.
Oh my gosh, that was so strange.
He's the Hulk all the time, but still with Banner's mind, meaning that he no longer had the urge to smash everything and wasn't blind rage. He didn't just feel like fighting everybody. He could speak normally to people. He was kind of a celebrity now, which I guess is what Marvel wanted all along.
No, he was a celebrity. He wasn't kind
of.
He was the only one who was a big
so big that no one else remembered the other Avengers or Ant-Man. It's like, oh, Hulk's the best superhero of all time, which is Marvel wanted to do for a while now. So I guess they finally got to do it. And yeah, he was being nice and friendly. He didn't want to smash anything. And when they said he had to do it, he was bored out of his mind. Like, oh,
and he
smash!
Was posing with selfies for all the kids.
Right. So now he was the most popular superhero because now he wasn't scary. So now everyone else was just now in depression because of what happened with the snap. He was the only one out of the group to have the good life after. I'm like, really, Disney?
Oh. So there were some really great moments in this film. A lot of them we don't want to reveal. There's some really great action scenes. There's some really great moments when they went back in time to try to gather the Infinity Stones, right? Again.
Right.
For the Infinity Gauntlet, I should say. The stones for the Infinity Gauntlet again. Some really great moments in there. And oh my gosh, the climax, the fight scene, oh my gosh. Epic doesn't even describe it. It was just, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Right.
It was.
And there was another, not actually a moment, just like one character in general. We know that after Thor Ragnarok, Thor was going through some changes because Chris Hemsworth stated that he wanted to change the character because he was bored of playing this regal Prince of Asgard and the Justice Bringer, and he was tired of playing that, so he wanted to just change it all together and just have him be a party animal, drunken, crazy, more Earth-like Thor using slang and bro and stuff. And then by the time they get to Endgame, which we know Thor suffered a great loss, so we know that obviously hit him hard. But it apparently hit him so hard that he just gave up on everything, on life. He lost all of his physique. He gained a bunch of weight. He is drunk all the time. He plays video games, eats pizza, grew out his beard and his hair. He became the Big Lebowski, and he didn't want anything to do with saving the world or anything. He's like, screw that, I'm done. And bro, people were kind of shocked.
And one thing he did say, though, in defense of the character, he said it was his fault. He says, I'm the one who cut off his hand. It's my fault.
Right.
Remember, he was feeling that he was responsible for how the way it turned out. Although, no, it was Star-Lord's fault. Sorry. But he was taking the blame for it.
Right.
What happened in the final battle in Infinity War.
Right. And then they had Hawkeye, who just became a killer, basically. He turned to, what's it, I think they call him Ronin?
They wish Hawkeye would be that badass.
And so, this is
I wasn't
something.
buying it, sorry.
And then he had a mohawk and tattoos, because he lost his family. Now he's edgy Hawkeye. I'm like, it took you this long for you to do this? And one person even mentioned a joke. I was like, this is why you lost Infinity War, because you didn't have Hawkeye. And as you know, Hawkeye kind of has a bit of a fan base, because the joke is Hawkeye can't do anything in the MCU. So the joke was, okay, you didn't have him. You have him in every movie, and that's why you won. You didn't have an Infinity War, so that's why you lost. And now I was like, you tried your best, Hawkeye. So in here, they said this is why they won, because of him.
And they had some characters that we had to say goodbye to, but we won't get into that because
that's really, the only thing we won't reveal, just in case.
If you've seen spoilers online, it won't be ours. Now, one of my favorite scenes ever in this movie, and it was like they knew I wanted this scene forever and forever, and I'm going to share this one.
Oh, absolutely.
When Captain America became worthy of Mjolnir, and I just screamed and jumped out of the seat. I couldn't help. I was like, he's worthy, yes, yes. That was one of the best scenes to see that happen. All of a sudden, the hammer was moving, and then he put his hand out, and then it came to him, and then he was welding the hammer and the lightning. It was awesome. I was like, yes! It was awesome. That was one of the most awesome scenes in the movie. So awesome, I had to see it many times, repeatedly. So yes, Captain America was worthy. We knew he was worthy all along. And Thor, he's like, I knew it. He was happy.
Yeah, he's like, here,
he wasn't jealous like he's been with other characters. He's like, yes, I knew it. He was so happy that he was worthy, because remember, he liked Captain America from the beginning when he first met him. So I took it as he was really happy that his friend was worthy to garner it. Right. And that out of all the people in the world, he was happy it was him. Right. You took it as he didn't want it anymore. Yeah, take this people crap, I'm done.
Yeah, he's like, I got an axe.
No, I took it as, yes, he was so happy that this friend was worthy enough to have it. And then, like you said, he was like, yeah, I got the axe now, boy. So.
Right, so, and then for my favorite scene is probably like, why? That's not much happened. But my favorite part was almost in the same time length as what happened when Captain America got the hammer, is when, everybody came back and they're showing each one by one.
Incredible.
With
that
the music.
Was incredible,
and the music, and the music's been used a lot. And then the one scene that came back was when Spider-Man leaped out. I was like, Spider-Man!
Yes, Rascal was so happy, she was almost in tears. He's back! Because she was so devastated when he disappeared in the part 1, as you call it. But yes, that was awesome and epic, and
And then he was talking to Tony, and he's like, it's like we were disappearing for 5 years, like 5 years, and then there's all this portal and stuff, and now he's like, we gotta fight these bad guys. It's like, now he won't shut up again.
And then Tony hugged him, and that's what he was thinking was gonna happen in the first movie.
We're not there. It gets we're there now.
Yeah. So yes, there were some really heartwarming, sentimental, heart-wrenching, awe-inspiring scenes in this movie. It is definitely worthy of the mantle of Endgame, the mantle of being the most epic movie Marvel has made to date in the MCU. It's worthy of the highest grossing movie of all time. It absolutely, definitely earned it. All of the elements came together. The actors, the production, the directing, the cinematography, the digital special effects, the casting, the costumes, the environment, the scenery, everything absolutely worked in this movie. And it was perfection. It really was perfection. I was waiting and thinking it was going to come and we were going to go plot hole.
Right.
But we didn't say plot hole one time.
And many videos have come up saying, the plot holes actually make sense and they're not technically plot holes when you think about how it works. They even worked out and said, how will you... won't you rewrite the timeline if you take the stones before the events in the movies happen? And they said, we'll just put them back to the time before they came in, so everything will still happen as it happened. But there were still some things that were altered after Endgame that will affect Guardians of the Galaxy and Far From Home and some other movies. And we still haven't seen Far From Home. We gotta see Far From Home.
Yes, that's the next one.
At the time of at the time of recording this.
And I have to say, I take it back. The only thing that was not perfect about this movie are the ones that they took out and killed off. I take that back.
All right.
So the ones who are disappearing from the MCU, they no longer will be part of it because they've been killed off. Though that was not perfect.
Yeah.
So that's the only part of this movie that I did not like. Of course, I wanted the happy ending where everybody made it.
Right.
So that's the only thing that I would love to have seen different about this movie. But alas,
I agree.
It is as it is.
But all in all, just a fantastic, amazing movie to watch anytime and as many times as you want.
Yes.
You can't get bored of it.
Podcast, and I want to see it again.
Never.
Along, of course, with Far From Home.
Right. And there was never a dull moment in the entire time where it's like, are they going to pick up the pace or anything? That none of that ever came.
It started slow, but it wasn't dull.
Right. It was just like they had to take its time because it was more of like a mourning scene of what happened. The other one, you could see 5 years later, these people were still depressed because half of existence was already just gone and people were still having PTSD and stuff after their loved ones or people they cared about were gone.
Yes, so fantastic thanks to Marvel. Fantastic, rousing thank you to all the starring cast. You were splendiferous. I know that's the word no one uses much, but you were absolutely splendiferous. Thank you for all you've done for this MCU. And we love this final movie, and we're sorry to see it come to an end.
Right. And here's to next movies coming out, like we said, with Far From Home, the next Doctor Strange, the next Black Panther, Black Widow, all these movies coming out for the next phase of Marvel, and the television and the movies and animation. We are definitely looking forward to it.
Well, we know you've seen this already, most of you listening, so let us know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't seen it, get it, rent it, buy it, watch it. Just see it and see what you've missed out on all this time. But hopefully by the time you hear this, you've absolutely seen it. And you're loving it as much as we did. Right.
So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting, flashing lights. Trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you want to do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Met her in my dreams. She was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket. Give it to you later on in the form of